Hello and welcome to erpwebtutor.com. This is very deep, and in this video we will talk about creating a custom integrator. This is the part of the web application development integrator or WebADI application desktop integrator. We have been using this in R12 quite a lot. Oracle has provided a lot of integrators that you can use. For example, for your journal entry, you have uh, the integrator that is provided by Oracle. So what you can do is you can just go to the responsibility and click on the create document. It's going to open an Excel spreadsheet. And for more details, you can definitely refer to the section which talks about the overview of WebADI. In this section, in this tutorial, we will primarily talk about how we create it, and we will go through the steps of creating the integrator, the layout, and there will be a database package that will be that we will use for loading the data in the Oracle tables. So we will also post that piece of code on our website. You can check it out. This set of document will be also available on the website, so you can download this document and go ahead and create your own integrators as per your own need. So in this video, our goal is to create an integrator that would automate the vendor site entry. In Oracle payables, where we create the suppliers or vendors, we need to create the sites for different orgs. And for the creation of supplier sites, the user needs to go into multiple screens. So the request for the ADI is to eliminate the multiple navigation from the supplier site creation screens in Oracle and make it like a one-page data entry point. So where you enter all the information that you need, and you can also default some of the information that you're trying to load. And we are going to create our WebADI based on this requirement. So again, the goal is to create an integrator that will be used for entering the vendor sites. So we'll be following this document and we'll be creating the integrator, and we'll also test it with our data loading process. So let's go back to the Oracle screen and log in. So once we are logged into Oracle, we will see the set of responsibilities on the left-hand side. For creating an integrator, the responsibility is Desktop Integration Manager. Underneath that, we need to go to Create Integrator. So here we need to enter the integrator name, internal name, and application. We will try to follow the document and then enter the information based on the document. So let's go to the Create Integrator portion of this document. This is the section that talks about how we are going to create the integrator, what entries we need to make. So in this case, let's copy the integrator name and paste it on the integrator name. Since this is a part of our training, so let's change the name to, say, training. The internal name is XXCC Vend 1. So here we will make it XXTR Vend 1. The application is our own custom application. So if you are having your own custom application, try to make it this integrator a part of your own custom application. You can also use some of the seeded applications, like for vendor sites, you can use payables. But it's a good idea to have your own application to own these custom setups. So we are entering our custom application here. And we need to check this checkbox which says display in create document page. Otherwise, you won't be able to see the integrators when you're trying to create the document or you're trying to open this integrator in Excel. So we need to check this box. And then we click next. We need to enter the interface name here. We need to note that the interface name you have to keep it very small, because once you're going to try and create some of the interface columns and the LOVs for these columns, Oracle is going to append quite a few strings to the name of this interface. So but if you have a long interface name and then Oracle adds like 10 or 15 characters to this interface name, and then you will run into error of a size. I think there is a size restriction on the name of the interface columns and the LOV columns. So once Oracle appends these strings to this interface name, it will be more than 30 characters. So a good idea is to have it really short. And in this case, if you see here in the document, we have this interface name as xxcc1. That's why we are trying to keep it very short. So even if Oracle appends 10-15 characters, we won't run into this size problem. So let's go back here and let's enter xxtr vend. I think this is short enough. Now the objective here is to load data using an interface, and for that we have a PL/SQL package which will be called by this integrator, and inside this PL/SQL package we have the API call for creating vendor sites. So the interface type should be API procedure. In our case, you can have a function as well. So in our case, it is API procedure. So the name of our PL/SQL package procedure here is xxcc WebADI PKG. So you can have a package like this, and you can add all your different procedures for your different integrators as a part of this generic WebADI package. So this is the package name. Next, we need to copy the name of the procedure. And in this case, it's a procedure, so it doesn't return anything. And we need to click apply. So once we click apply, it creates the interface. So this is the interface name, xxtr vend. And we need to click on this small radio button here so that it will show you all the columns that will be a part of your Excel spreadsheet. Now, if you note here that you see there's all these columns, or in this case, attribute names. So this P_pay group lookup code, P org ID, P country, all these attributes you're seeing are nothing but the input parameters for this PL/SQL package procedure that we have here. So if you remember this is our PL/SQL package, and this create vend side is the procedure. So what we see here is all these attributes are nothing but the input parameters for this procedure. So once we click on this interface name, it actually looks inside this package procedure and gives you a list of all the attributes, or in this case your columns, that will be a part of your Excel spreadsheet where you're going to enter the data and try to upload. So you can change the prompts. By default, what it does is it just truncates the P_ from the front and keeps the rest. So it's a good idea, it's when you create your procedure, the good idea is to have all the parameters as P_, and that way you will have something meaningful on the prompt. But of course you can change it. You can instead of all these underscores, you can make it like pay group, org ID, the country, and then you can use proper case. The data type is also coming from the input parameter data type of this procedure, and they're all enabled. So at this point, everything is enabled in our case. So we can just submit, and that way it will create the interface columns as a part of this interface. On the website, I will also try to add the list of tables that would really come in handy for you if you try to query for your data that you just create. You can just go to those tables and query for your integrator information. So we will update the document, or maybe directly on the website, a list of tables that are being used by this Oracle desktop integrator. The group name for integrator application would be BNE. So once again, it's BNE. So that's the top for the repository for all the desktop integration integrators or all those components that belongs to this application. So let's submit this, and this will create our integrator, and that would be all for creating the integrator part. So let's submit it. And as you can see here, the integrator training vendor side entry integrator has been created successfully. So we are basically done creating the integrator. So if you now go back to this document, it talks about what we really did and what happens. So it has more details on each of these fields. So if you want to learn more, you can just refer to this document. Now, the important thing is, as we said here in our spreadsheet, we need to have a list of values, for when you're trying to create a vendor site. You don't expect the user to know the vendor name or the vendor number. And even if they know, they can have some typing mistakes. So once you're trying to validate the information, you will unnecessarily run into errors. And that would be too many times going back and forth, the user correcting it. So for that, we would try to eliminate the human errors or the typing errors. So we need to create LOVs for certain fields which are actually coming from Oracle. The fields that are like address line 1, address line 2, those are free text fields. That means you can just type in something in Excel and there would be no validation. So this is our vendor LOV creation script. So at this point, we will go back to the PL/SQL tool, whatever tool you use. I personally use PL/SQL Developer. A lot of developers use Toad that's a very popular tool for PL/SQL packages creation, or that's a very familiar tool that most developers use. PL/SQL Developer is also a very good tool that I personally prefer. So let's go back to the tool and see what we need to find there. Okay, so at this point we are on the PL/SQL Developer tool, and we need to find out what's the name of our interface interface code. So if you see this document again, it is calling this BNE integrator utils package and create table LOV procedure. And the things that you need to know here is the application ID. So if you have your own custom application, you need to get the application ID for your custom application. So you should be able to see it from FND applications table and get your application ID. The other thing that you need to know here is your interface code. So this one is the interface code for the integrator that we created in this as a part of this document. But in our case, while we are doing this video, we have a different name of the integrator. So that should generate a different interface code. So let's see how we get the interface code from here. So our column name, as you know here, we are trying to have the LOVs for two fields here. The country field, which will have an LOV, and the vendor number will also have an LOV. So let's see. Let's run this query and see what happens. So what kind of information we get here. So you see here, this P country is also an interface column for the interface XXCC vend1. This interface code is associated with this interface column. But in our case, the one we are doing right now, this is our integrator. This TR vend1 is the interface code that we are working on right now. So once we let's copy this thing, and this is the one we're going to use. I believe it's going to be the same interface code for your other column because they are part of the same interface code. So as you can see here, interface code. So again, let's copy it. And they should be the same because these columns are a part of the same interface. So now it's time to create the LOV. At this point, Oracle doesn't support creating the LOVs from the user interface. Like, when you create the integrator, you created the integrator from the GUI or the front end. And there are other ways to do it as well. You can use some of the existing Oracle packages to create integrators, So there's a technical way of doing it, and then this one we are doing here is a combination of doing it from the forms or the web-based forms. But at this point, for the table validated LOVs, Oracle does not have any screen to set those LOVs. So the only way to do it is running some PL/SQL scripts to get that done. So let's copy this portion. This is a very simple execution of a PL/SQL package procedure. So let's go back again to our tool. The only thing that we need to change here is the interface code, which is this one for our new interface. The application ID is the same. The column is also the same. And what we're trying to do here is we are trying to, if you look at this parameter called ptable, this is the table that that will generate the list of values. So in this case, we are trying to get the list of vendors. So we are using PO vendors. The ID column is the value that will be passed on to your actual data field that, when your existing package, this is the value that will be passed from the Excel to your procedure. The meaning column and the description column you will see on the list of values when it opens, but this is the field that will be passed on to the Excel spreadsheet. So if you, in this case, we have the same ID and meaning. So if you want, you can have a different ID column. Like if you want the vendor ID to be passed in, you can have the vendor ID. So there's segment 1, vendor name. These are the columns of this table PO vendors. So this is what we are doing here. This is the additional where clause. If you want to put a where clause here, you want to restrict the list, you can put a where clause here. In this case, we are just trying to see every piece of all the vendors that are there in this table. You can definitely restrict it. And this is the window caption, how it will look. So once we create this and once we open the Excel spreadsheet, we'll better understand what's happening here. So let's execute this. Let's run this. So it's running now. So you need to commit. This is the commit button. Otherwise, it will not be stored, or it will not be changed permanently onto the database. So you need to make sure that when you are executing a procedure, you need to commit. If there is no commit inside the package or the procedure that you're using, you'll see this small commit or rollback button on your tool. And on the rollback, you can just undo whatever changes you have made. And the commit, it will actually insert the data in the table, and it will be available in all the sessions. So we need to commit this. So it'll ask me for commit, yes. And now we also need to create the second LOV for country, and that is this piece here. You can go back here. So we copied that. Again, we need to change the interface code. So this is our new interface code. And then similarly, we will need to run this and then commit this. So at this point, we are literally done with creating the integrator, and it has created the LOVs for the fields here, the two fields, vendors and country. Now it's time to create a layout. So you need to specify what the layout in Excel is going to look like. So let's go ahead and create the layout for this. So for this, again, the responsibility, we can go to this desktop integrator, and then you have this thing called define layout. In here, we need to search for the integrator that we are trying to create a layout for, training vendor site entry integrator. So this is the one we have, and we are trying to define a layout for this integrator. So we select this, hit go, Right now you see that there is no layout defined, so we're going to create one. We can put a name here like training vendor site entry layout and click next. So it has picked up all the attributes that was defined in the integrator, and it has definitely truncated all the p underscore. So the placement, if it is context, it's for us, it's not going to be context. Everything's going to be in one line. So let's have all these attributes changed to line as the placement. So at this point, we have changed all the attributes at the line level, and let's click apply. So our layout is created successfully. So as you can see from the message here. So now let's see what happens when we try to open this and how we can enter the information. So now we need to, so this is the actual part that the user will be doing. So this is where the development work stops, and now the user is going to use this integrator that we have just created. So let's see what they're going to see. So they're going to go to the desktop integrator responsibility, and then they'll click on create document. So once they click on create document, they need to select the integrator from this list. And in this case, they're going to use training vendor site entry integrator. Click next. If it is Windows, if it is Office 2007, you can have Excel 2007. In this case, we don't have the upgraded patch to make it work on Excel 2010. So let's use Excel 2007, and let's click next. So at this point, it is ready for creating the document for you. So we need to just click on create document, and this will run a script, and that will generate an Excel spreadsheet, and it has all the VB macros behind it, and that will generate everything for you. So we're going to open it. So Excel opens. In my case, the macros have been disabled, so I just need to click on options and enable it. So once I do that, it will process my document. So I don't want to cancel it. So once the document is created, you can just close it. And this is the LOV field. The way we can make out is that it has something called list text. So it has an LOV. So let's double click. And this is how you see all the list of values that we just created. It has like 5,000 in here. So let's select the first one. And this is the segment 1, which is our meaning, or in this case ID, that is being populated on the vendor number. Vendor site, that's everything is test. Address line is like line 1. Line 2, we can leave the line 3 and 4 blank. City is, say, Los Angeles. County, Los Angeles. Zip, there's no validation for these though. So for the state, California. The country, you need to have, the country code is, say, US. So we select US. For the time being in this tutorial, the org ID we need to just enter, but you can definitely set a context and get the org ID from the context. But to keep things simple, we will just enter the org ID. I just know it. And the group is, again, for the time being, I just know it. I'm going to use some valid value here. And once I do it, you'll see a small toolbar here called add-ins. Click on that, and you will see Oracle. And click on upload, and then click upload here. So this took a while, and once we see this process, the upload process has completed successfully. Press close to return to the document, and one row successfully uploaded. So we have successfully created a vendor site in this case, and just to be sure, as a user, what they're going to do is they're going to go back to this vendor and definitely gonna check their entry, whether the entry was created successfully or not. So let's go back to Oracle again, and let's go to the AP responsibility here, suppliers, entry. We can just enter the supplier number that we just copied and click go. So once we do that, so we're going to see the supplier site. So this is the section, the address book is actually the supplier site. So let's click on that. And you can see here, this is the supplier site that we just created. So we created, let's see it, or let's click on show and see what we just did. So we created the supplier site. The operating unit is the US operating unit. This is the one that is coming from your the org ID that we just entered, 83, which you can use a context. And we have kept it very simple here. We just line 1, line 2, the city, state, and right now we just left everything blank. So as a part of this integrator, we can see that we have successfully created a supplier site using the WebADI, and we can definitely make more changes to our interface package to load whatever information we are trying to load and help the user reduce the number of navigation when they're creating a site. So I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial, and the next time you're going to try to create an integrator yourself, refer to the video and also refer to the document. The PL SQL code will also be a part of this document. So go ahead and enjoy creating integrators. And I'm sure if you have any questions, please post us on our website and we will try to answer them accordingly. And thank you for your time. Thanks.